The skip counting chains help children learn and practice multiplication facts. You can see I've laid out the 3 skip counting chain up to 10 times 3. You could go further if you would like. A very young child would use this to simply linear count from left to right. So they would count 1, 2, 3 and lay out the arrow, 4, 5, 6 and lay out the arrow, and on. An older child would really begin to focus on the skip counting numbers, which is learning the multiplication facts. This work teaches the concept of multiplication through that skip counting and through repeated addition. We can even put little plus signs between and show that we are adding 3 each time. Multiplication is repeated addition. These are really good for strategy as well. When a child doesn't know a product, they could use skip counting or repeated addition to help them solve for the product. For example, if I know that 3 times 5 is 15, but I don't remember 3 times 6, I can use that 3 times 5 fact and then count on 3 more to arrive at the product that I need. If you would like, you could make little tickets, little fact tickets, kind of like flashcards, to show each fact with the 2 factors and the product to begin to make a bridge toward abstraction for your child. Another great thing about the bead bar work and making these chains is that we can show children the square number. When we stack these 3, they make a perfect square. 3 times 3 is a perfect square. That's 9. 9 is a perfect square. Drawing children's attention to these square numbers helps them with memorizing their multiplication facts, and it also gets them ready for the squaring work they'll do later on. When a child has practiced a times table by skip counting and they're ready to quiz themselves, one of the first ways they can do that is by turning the arrow cards upside down. So they have to try to remember what the next skip counting number is, and they memorize the skip counting that way. 3, 6, 9, yes. So they can go through, and you can also quiz them as well if you would like. One other way that you can make a bridge to abstraction is by making little tickets without the products, just the 2 factors, and laying them out so they can see the fact equation that they're finding the product for. Another way they can quiz themselves is by picking up the arrows. So they are mixed up and they have to see the product and find where it belongs. So that would be 3 times 3 is 9, 12, oh that's 3 times 4, 30, that's 3 times 10. If you would like, you could also lay out these cards so that as they are finding the facts, they can again see the 2 factors that they're finding the product for.